As Muslims, we harbor no animosity towards Jews. They are our relatives, and for centuries, our ancestors have coexisted peacefully. There has been no record of pogroms or holocausts perpetrated by Muslims against Jews. The recent generation of elder Jews, parents and grandparents from North Africa and the Middle East, who are still alive, can attest to the amiable relations between them in Morocco, Algeria, Egypt, Iraq, and other countries. Although I comprehend the reasons behind the establishment of the Zionist movement, considering the recurring horrors endured by Jews throughout the centuries in Europe and other non-Arab regions, I still maintain that some of the hardliners of Zionism have taken a misguided path. They ought to reconsider their approach in order to ensure everlasting prosperity for Israel and peaceful coexistence with its neighbors. There exist simple principles between neighbors: respect, good intentions, and the application of common sense in day-to-day interactions. Occasionally, certain relationships may evolve into friendships or even brotherhood. Ultimately, it all boils down to good intentions. However, what we, as Arabs and Muslims, have witnessed over the past 70 years, particularly in the last decade, from certain Israeli governments, is entirely antithetical to this notion. Apartheid, injustice, disrespect, belittlement, hegemony, and oppression against Palestinians have transformed an opportunity for peaceful cohabitation and cooperation into a political catastrophe in many respects. The Torah teaches us, avera gora avera, a sin begets another sin. A hateful act leads nowhere but to further animosity and a desire for revenge. I firmly believe that Mr. Netanyahu's government has exacerbated the situation with its extreme right-wing views, which are based on a particular interpretation of God's commandments that are unquestionably debatable in many aspects. The current state of affairs in Israel did not materialize out of thin air. There is no smoke without fire. The actions undertaken by numerous members of this government, in the form of provocation, intimidation, discrimination, and oppression, are seriously placing the future of Israel in jeopardy. I firmly say that all Arabs, including Algeria, are prepared to embrace genuine peace with Israel. However, the hard-line faction within Israeli Zionists has been creating conditions that make this possibility nearly impossible to attain. Similarly, I am of the opinion that there are countless Israeli women, men, and children who simply desire to lead lives characterized by dignity and peace. Simultaneously, millions of Palestinian women, men, and children aspire to possess their own territory where they can live with dignity, justice, and peace. Please be wise and take a lesson of what happened to Native Americans at a certain time of history. The journey towards coexistence and a shared comprehension of one another's fundamental requirements is undoubtedly challenging. However, it serves as the foundation for fostering a modicum of tranquility in our emotions and peace in our daily lives. Adopting extreme stances in situations of conflict ultimately yields nothing but heightened tensions and further discord. Further, I believe that it will be difficult to ease tensions and restore a minimum level of readiness to reconcile as long as Mr. Netanyahu and his far-right government remain in power. It is imperative that all descendants of Abraham live together, ideally as brothers or, at a minimum, respectful neighbors seeking peace and serenity for one another as a new era begins. Anger is raging among the Arab and Muslim populations. A very small percentage of the population still believes in the possibility of a two-state solution. There has been a dramatic decline in the possibility of reconciliation between Arabs and Muslims. According to many, the unconditional support provided by the United States to Israel is understandable on many levels. There is, however, an inability on the part of Arab and Muslim nations to comprehend that Mr. Netanyahu and his extremist government has carte blanche to commit war crimes and murder without impunity. The bombing of hospitals, homes, and entire areas of Gaza day and night, the bombing with banned weapons of war, as well as the cutoff of water and electricity, as well as the denial of humanitarian assistance, are unquestionably war crimes committed by Netanyahu and his extremist government. Throughout the world, the United States is viewed as a military superpower as well as a contributor and initiator of peace, freedom, and democracy. As a result of the United States' last stand with an extremist government in Israel, its image has been adversely affected and may be permanently damaged in the Arab and Muslim worlds, as well as worldwide. The United States' support for the government of Mr. Netanyahu is perceived by Arab and Muslim populations as a direct participation in the genocide of Palestinians in Gaza. Neither the United States nor the State of Israel can benefit from the recent barbaric retaliation committed with deliberate intent by Mr. Netanyahu's government, both short and long term. It is my concern that it will not contribute to the peace process in the future. There is no doubt that the current situation is very gloomy, unless one is blind. Israel has millions of citizens who oppose and denounce such a war. There is no question in their minds that Mr. Netanyahu's destructive policies must be opposed. It is then necessary to ask why the United States continues to support such an extremist government. Maintaining support for Mr. Netanyahu's extremist policies poses a grave threat to the security of Israel. In my opinion, this is not in the best interests of Israel, and it is unlikely to serve that purpose. Like Martin Luther King, I too have a dream in which Jews and Arabs live together, dance, dream together, share meals, laugh with each other, and when one neighbor is away, the other neighbor takes care of their family, home, and belongings, as they once did. Although I may appear to be naive or idealistic, I have a dream that you can assist me in achieving with the prerogatives that are yours. It is an ardent desire to see genuine peace prevail in the land of Israel, creating a mutually beneficial atmosphere for both Israelis and Palestinians in a fair and impartial manner. Symbolically known as the Promised Land, it holds profound significance as the ancestral home of Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Moses, David, Solomon, and Jesus, a divine gift blessed by God for all eternity. Regrettably, the realization of this vision seems elusive as long as Mr. Netanyahu and his uncompromising far-right faction maintain authority in the State of Israel. Throughout history, Israel has been known for its dedication to peace and faith, as exemplified by leaders such as Ben-Gurion, Begin, Peres, and Yitzhak Rabin, who sacrificed his life to promote peace. Peace is an extensive journey that begins with a single step. The initial step requires the establishment of an unwavering ceasefire, requiring meticulous supervision by both the United States and the United Nations. It is imperative that the civilian population in Gaza be protected and that the genocide be ended. It is imperative that a humanitarian aid program be permitted and that immediate protection be provided. Although I do not possess a complete command of the English language, I feel compelled to convey these sentiments. Throughout my message, I am urging wisdom, love, hope, humanism, and most importantly, a commitment to peace. It would be wonderful if all constitutional bodies in the United States heard this message. There is a major shift taking place in the world, and actions must be taken based on wisdom and a deep vision that can predict the future and prepare for it. I appreciate you taking the time to hear my message, and I hope that my dream can become a reality. From a humble Algerian descent of the Prophet's bloodline.